kind of jump into, I'm going to do a little bit of, I'm actually, so Cody's going to touch on this 5 voices one a little bit too. We might get to that. I'm going to do the kind of staff and investment type stuff. My version today is, they took my words literally, because someone asked me recently at an event how I delegate or how I pick roles. I don't remember the wording of the question exactly, but how do I hire people essentially? And I said, today, I just make a list of all the shit I hate doing, and then I hire someone to do it. It's quite frankly what I do today. So this can not only be things you hate doing, because quite frankly, we have to do a lot of things we hate doing for a long time, usually significantly longer than we want to be doing them. So not only is it like things you hate doing, but maybe things you're not good at that someone else should be doing, or something you do that, like one of the things I'm getting him to do, he does a lot of the stuff with social, like we talked about, but he spends a lot of time editing videos. So I'm like, well, we have a fucking editor. If you want to record this stuff and pay him to edit the videos, you can have now more time to make more phone calls or recruit more people. It's an option. I don't care if you pay him or you pay a fucking Joe Blow. I don't give a shit. But Reese is following, he knows your stuff. You know what I mean? So like, we talked about that. And I'm like, he's sending emails to hire, he's sending cold emails to newly licensed agents to try to recruit them. He sends the emails. He downloads the list. He sends the replies. I'm like, you know, you can hire someone fucking like $6 an hour to do that shit and then spend more time doing this. So it's like a list of not only what you hate doing, but more importantly, if the best way you can do this exercise, again, off the top of your head, you're going to have some stuff. But if you legit want to figure out where you're spending your time, we've talked a lot about that. Allocating time has been a question several times. It's a completely annoying, tedious task. But if you literally will take a week and commit to document what you do every 15 minutes, short document, not a story about it, just making calls, watching TV, fucking recruiting, staring at the fucking computer, whatever, like this is for you to judge you. If you literally take a week and every 15 minutes document what you did, and then at the end of the week you look at it, it will change your entire view of your schedule. It gives you a view of your schedule from like above, and you can really see where you spend your time. And when I did this exercise in it's probably 2017 or 18, it's the first time I did it. And the guy that had me do it, the coach that was helping me with it, I've paid a shitload of people to coach me on stuff along the way. And this was one of the first coaches I paid. And he gave me this exercise. And at the end of the week, when I sent it to him, I looked at it and I was like, I'm fucking killing it, bro. I was excited about my shit. I thought I had it all buttoned up. And you know what I mean? I'm like, he ain't gonna get me on nothing. I'm working my ass off. And I sent it to him. And he goes, it looks like it, and I talked about Maddox playing baseball a lot and shit like that. And he goes, it's one of those things where they use my words against me. He goes, your schedule looks like, if you picture what Maddox looks like, if you spent all day hitting him fly balls in the outfield, how he'd have to run around and chase them all to get them. He goes, your schedule looks like you spend all day fielding fly balls. I'm like, what the fuck does that mean? He goes, wherever the balls hit, you go run and chase it. So whatever someone puts in your plate, you go do it. So if someone calls you now, you interrupt, like in your dial thing, you had recruiting calls in between your dials. Was that scheduled? I'm like, nah, someone called me back from last Friday. He's like, and you stopped what you were doing here to take that recruiting call? Why is that what you want? And he looked at my schedule, and although to me it felt clean and buttoned up, if I segmented it into different things, it was kind of messy. You know what I mean? If you put all the shit we do in a bowl and someone took the bowl and threw the shit up in the air and it all fell where it landed, that was my schedule. And I thought it was clean. And man, it allowed me to really go like, other people are controlling my schedule significantly more often than I'm controlling my schedule. Right? So I started having to put things in place. 2 things. I found myself doing a lot of things that don't pay really well. A lot of admin work, a lot of follow-up, a lot of just dumb shit. Dude, I would do Amanda's job sometimes. I'd be annoyed she wasn't doing it. If I'd fucking get in there and do it for her. You know what I mean? Fucking drive her crazy. I did all kinds of dumb shit. Instead of going like, hey, how do we allocate this the right way? You know, and so as we started getting going early on, she got hired because I did this exercise. And one of the things I spent a lot of time on was like, I mentioned earlier, checking agents' commission statements and following up on carriers and policies and all that. I used to do a lot of that myself. And so when I hired her, that was on my list of shit that took up a lot of time, calling carriers and follow-ups and checking statements and making sure agents' policies were getting placed, you know what I mean? Like pushing volume through. And that became her first job. That's what she did when she started with me, because it was on my list of shit I didn't either like doing and it didn't pay me really well. It was good and valuable because it got policies issued, it got agents paid, but it prevented me from doing high paying stuff. Right? And so I started looking at all the shit that I did for a week, and then I prioritized them. And I looked at all the ones I enjoy doing, and I kept those. I looked at all the ones I don't want to do that I felt I could trust her to do at the time, because I had a gang of stuff. And I took a handful, and I was like, that was her first job. And as she started doing more and more stuff, I took more things from my list and put them on her list. And that's just how we play the game. And eventually she took my whole list. And my goal was literally to show up and talk. I'm really fucking good at that piece. All the other stuff, someone else can do, or they're great at it, or they're better at it. You know what I mean? I'm good at a lot of things, but they're better at some things, I've learned. Or I can hire someone that's amazing at something. And so that became her job. She started taking over. Well, then found out, funny enough, she got really fucking busy. And then because I was a control freak and didn't want to give stuff up, what do you think happened when she had to give stuff up? She didn't want to fucking give it up because she learned from me. So she didn't want to give employees anything because she's a control freak now too. Right? So now I had to do this exercise with her. You can actually walk up, your whiteboard has some of it. If y'all want to see some of the stuff upstairs later, you can. But we have fucking a whiteboard as big as this in her office. And we map out who does what, who's working on what projects, whose job is what are your job duties, what do you do? And we're just figuring it out. Because as we grow, I'm having to move things around and figure out who's good at what, who should take on what responsibility. And so we had all of them go like, here's all the shit I do. My team did this exercise. And then went, here's all the shit I do, here's the things I hate, here's the things I'm good at, here's the things that have to get done that I just fucking do because you pay me and you say I have to. Like, they did it all. And so we're starting to shift things around internally even. And go, hey, they're better at this, you're better at this, let's move some things around. Who do we have to hire? So she's hiring a couple VAs and some assistants that are gonna take some of the things off her plate. Why? There's things I want her doing more importantly. Talking to the higher level people coming in, the coaching clients, making sure the operation, I want her doing the finances. Like, she has to do some high level shit. Whereas like, dude, when we're out of toilet paper, I'm like, for the love of God, can someone else do that? Please? Can someone else check my fucking mail? You know what I mean? Like, stop doing you're making fucking 200 grand a year and you're opening my mail. Give it to someone else. You know what I mean? But she's like, dude, you know what's in your mail? I'm like, no, I haven't opened it in 5 years. She's like, you don't want people seeing everything. I'm like, okay. So then segment it. Take the shit you know I wouldn't want people to see, and you do that, and then give away the rest. You know? And so we talk about a lot of these details, man, and I think it's important as you start to build to know where you spend your time. You know? Because as you start to build this thing, the only thing, especially when you're selling, you want to build, the only thing you can do is add more time-taking stuff to your life. Right? And you want to do this right. You can't slack on the sales side while you build, especially early. And most people, it's like one of these, where they sell more, they build less. They build more, they sell less. That's a fucking shit show to be in. You know? And so if you really tie down your schedule and what you're doing and when you're doing it, at the beginning, you might have to do the admin work. But if you're doing that type of shit, like in the middle of the day, like, why are you studying product at noon? Like, I know I told you to learn the product, but I did not tell you to learn the product instead of make phone calls, bro. So let's look at your schedule and go, you make phone calls here, you start working on product at 10 p.m. Unless you're gonna call Callie, because then it'll only be 7 p.m., you can call Callie or study product. Or you could call till midnight, which is now 9 p.m., and you can start studying product at midnight. Or you could get your ass up early and you can study product at 5 a.m. If you study it during the day, you're sacrificing what? The ability to call people. Right? So I can maneuver people's schedule, train, I can maneuver all that around with an exercise like this. So we'll do the same thing here. Assuming you want to build something, you're going to have to, again, either hire, this can be done an exercise of what should I hire next and how can it produce more revenue? Or if you're not there yet, how can I really look at my time and allocate it differently? You know? So again, if you hate doing stuff, but you don't have the money to hire someone, well, all right, put it in a fucking box and only do it these times a week. You know what I mean? Like, if you hate dealing with money, like balancing your checkbook, shit like that. It's like, maybe don't do it every day. Allocate fucking an hour on Sundays and do it then. Why? Because it's not in the middle of all the chaos of your life and you're having to see low balances and all this bullshit and be frustrated before you dial. Probably a bad time to check money. You know what I mean? Why don't you do a Sunday morning before church? That sounds like a better time to do it. You know what I'm saying? And you can maneuver things like that. So take this and do it from one of those perspectives. Again, either things you hate doing or things you do. And do it off the top of your head, but I promise you, if you take the exercise and you spend a week doing this, your answers will be very different next week. So mess with it. Again, if you want to do it with some people, do it. We'll do 10 minutes again. So we'll go from there. All right, this should provide any clarity, help you at all. Questions on this part? You want to move on?
I feel like a lot of the things what you said, like no control. I'm feeling like no one else is gonna do it as good as you do it, which is true.
Mm-hmm.
But once you let it go and let the person learn,
Yeah.
they eventually will do it as good as you do. Maybe.
Yeah. I found here's like I had to learn some stuff. Like along the way, sometimes people can be intimidated to bring ideas to us, right? Because of who we are. So I have to be really careful to try to do my best to allow that. And at the same time, I've had this little bit of balance where I'm like, again, especially for me, where I did all the stuff first. I've never been the guy that's going to hire someone for something I don't do. I didn't take that journey. I'm there now where I'm like, oh, I think I could hire someone that, like, we pretend we do marketing, and we do, but like, I don't have a fucking marketing department. Like, Reese turns off his social media hat and turns on his marketing hat, and we kind of call it one thing, and they get together and figure it out. You know what I mean? But there's only so much one human can do. It's like, damn, do we want to have a legit marketing leg? Do we, you know what I mean? I can look at it now and think that, but for the most part, most of us tend to pass on things we did, you know? And so there's this wild dynamic that you have to teach people how to do the thing, but they don't do the thing we do. So they don't really understand why you do the thing. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes they're going to think the thing is really fucking stupid because they don't see the value in it. They don't see where it connects the dots. They don't understand how it applies to the overall business. So, man, it's a dynamic I'm not perfect at figuring out. But I've learned it's really similar to the insurance side in that, like, some people, man, like Amanda just took over, bro. I didn't tell her one day I wanted her to run my fucking company. But like, when the other assistant, I hired Amanda to be my assistant's assistant because she needed help. And I was like, what's all the shit you're doing? What is it? Da, da, da. She's like, I don't have time. She did this exercise. And that's how Amanda came in. And then, you know, I remember sitting down with her. I spent a ton of fucking time with her, dude. And I'm trying to teach her to do it as we grow out a team. I'm like, you know how many hours and hours and hours and days and months that I would sit, me and Amanda, at a desk, and she would watch me work. And I would teach her what I was doing and why I was doing it and the psychology of it all. I had to like pour into her. I couldn't do that day one because I didn't know she was going to fucking keep working here. But what I noticed is, like, as things around the office that needed to be done that I'm talking about in staff meetings, and you can hear me fucking talking or bitching or whining, whatever it is, she would see something and just do it. And she's like, her personality is like, get out of my way, I got it. That's who she is. Move over, I got it. If she sees you not do, you know what I mean? And she did that in my office. So things that weren't being done fully that I wanted done, she would just do. And when someone else sucked at something, she'd be like, I got it. Get out of the way. You suck at this. I got you. And she just did that with so many things. She just climbed the ladder herself, you know? And when I recognized that, I'm like, then we started talking. But she was with me for a couple of years before I had any in-depth conversations with her. Reese, I talk to a lot because we travel. But the others, I'm like, yeah, I don't spend a ton of fucking time with them right now because they're just taking shit off Amanda's plate, mainly, you know? But yeah, dude, I think that as you start teaching this thing, one, you got to realize, I mean, Amanda's the only employee that stayed with me more than, what's Reese at? 18 months-ish? Not even? 14 months? Well, I guess the other dude was 18 months. No one's hit 2 years. The first, we just cracked one person hit past 1 year. I think you got 3 now, don't you?
Technically 2. 1 left.
Oh, 2 are here. Yeah, one quit after like a year and a half. So it's like, you got to kind of understand, dude, you may go through a lot of people to build your team in terms of like a staff. You just may not be a good fit. They may not like you. You may not like them. They may not help you level up. They may just want to do the fucking job and go home. And we have some, like, if they just want to do their job and get home, fine. They just gotta understand they're never gonna make six figures for me. Probably not. They ain't getting bonuses. Like when we were talking about paying people earlier, I like to just, like when we do events like this, we don't make a ton of money on this. You know what I mean? We'll make a few bucks. But at the end of it, I'll look at them, right, Cody? Like, there ain't money in the back. I hear him smiling back like a motherfucker back there. Not many people know how little money is in events. There ain't much. Yeah, there ain't fucking much left over. And, it's a long-term play. But they do a lot of work for this event. So we'll look at, all right, here's what we netted. And I think last time I cut them a check, what did I give you, like $1,000 or something? You know what I mean? When we were done. Just went upstairs, wrote 2 checks, gave them $1,000 because they helped. The ones that didn't help much, I don't think everyone got a check. No. 2? 3 people got a check? 3 people got a check. 3 out of 5 got a check last event. Why? I felt like 3 out of 5 helped more. That's it. I ain't mad at the ones that didn't. The ones that did more, I'm like, all right, well, they went to fucking Costco and bought all the food. I didn't do that shit. They did all this. So for me, I like to like give bonuses a lot. I pay a lot of bonuses throughout time. And if I feel like we're having a good month and someone helps me and I share, I'm open with what we're making revenue wise. I'm open with our expense. I just fucking share it. It is what it is. And I'm like, you want more of it? Before you got here, we made X. Now, when you come here, I now make less than X because I now have to pay for you. So when you pay for you and make me more, you will fucking be happy here. But at the beginning, keep in mind, I'm still in the negative paying you. That is how it works. Now, some people think it's weird to talk about with employees. I think it's weird that we don't talk about it because it's what it is. And if you make me more money, I'm going to pay you more. It seems really fucking simple. And if we have headaches going on in the business, if they only trickle up to me, you'll probably make less. If you handle them before they get to me, I'm going to enjoy that more than if I have to help you handle it. I'm here to help you handle it. I'm in. But when Amanda handles shit without me knowing about it, that's my fucking favorite thing. You know? And so as I'm getting people going, I'm kind of keeping all this in mind, dude, that I just, in the moment, I have to trust. I don't have a choice because I know it's going to hurt me if I don't. What do we do when we don't trust people? We can put things in place to hold them accountable. We can do reporting. We can do check-ins. Her and I communicate still to this day. Do we probably talk, if we're not in the office together, even if we are, I bet 3 times a day we call it one or the other on top of the time we're together. Just something business. We talking at 9 o'clock last night. You know what I mean? After she was done with dinner with her family. So we got shit to handle before today. That's not every day, but if I do it, she'll pick up anywhere, anytime, for the most part. You know, but that took time to get to. Everyone wants that at the beginning. And although she was great at the beginning and stood out for most, she wasn't 100% pot committed at the beginning. You know what I mean? So there's this little balance of like, they want more before they do more, but you want them to do more before you give more, right? So we're playing this little dance. And so I give people a lot of upside as part of this process. And just quite frankly, the more they clean up how busy I am, they will benefit from that. So I guess as you're building your team out, like you're gonna have to also have a contingency plan too. Because when you go, hey, this is your job, if you just go, hey, here's your job and go like this, it's gonna be your job again in a minute. You're gonna have to clean up the pieces. Does that make sense? It's gonna be messy. So kind of the way I taught it, again, maybe not perfect, but it's worked really well for us, is here's my way. Here's how I do it. I need you to do it, Amanda, exactly like I do it until you come up with a better way. You're allowed to come up with a better way, but until it happens faster or makes more money than my way, you have to do it my way. When your way works better, you have full freedom to tell me my way sucks and you have a better way. They can all do that to me. But you can't not do my way and be like, your way sucks. I'm like, well, you don't even know what it's doing yet. You don't know why, you don't understand it. So I'm open to feedback. But at the same time, it's like, I mean, sometimes you just gotta do your fucking job. You know, some things you can't get rid of. There's dumb shit in here. People have to take out the trash. I'm like, whose job is it? Dude, if the trash is fucking piled up and overflowing, I'm gonna be annoyed. I don't care whose job it is. Just don't let it overflow. I'll do it. I take out the trash a decent amount. You know what I mean? Just little things.
Hey guys, just created something really cool, and if you want to be part of it, join the Discord group I just created. The link is going to be in here. It's a dope environment. You can chat with others that are kind of in the community. You can see behind the curtain of our agency, have access to all kinds of stuff that we got going on, events, and my staff is in there. We have agents in there selling, me helping agents and sharing information. We're going to, as we build this thing out, share everything out there with all of you guys. So again, follow the Discord if you want to be part of everything we got going on. Join it now. We'll see you in there. Hope to help you more.
But in terms of day-to-day activity, man, you got to give people things to do. And I think the mistake a lot make is they want to give people so much to do to consume the entire 40 hours, say, versus leave any room for learning and studying and creating and, you know what I mean? So I'd rather not give her everything day one and be bored. Be like, hey, I need more to do. Because I can, if I give her one responsibility, I can teach her 20 things about that responsibility that she doesn't yet know. If I give her 20 responsibilities now, I can't get into the nitty-gritty detail here. So at the beginning of someone new, it's really slow. And I don't really know exactly what they're going to do long term. I heard something from, y'all follow Dan Martell? Just fucking fire stuff. Any of y'all read his book yet? It's one of the best books I've ever read. It's just one of my favorites. Just from like a strategic, operational standpoint. I learned a ton about the way he implements things in his companies. So we're implementing stuff from the book currently, like real time. And some of the things that he shared about giving responsibilities and how to define things, we're stealing from his teachings on how to do it. At the beginning, man, like if I took Amanda's role and I said, here's the 10 things she does, those 10 things have changed 800 times. Just on what her role is to me. So I'm like, she just fucking runs everything. She introduces herself as my assistant. And I'm like, if only they knew. Like, she runs my fucking world. That's how I word it. She's operations, some fancy, you know what I mean? I'm like, she fucking does everything. But as I start bringing people in, one, we let them know like it's going to get busier and we're going to continue to give you more and more responsibility because we're trying to build something big. And I want you to eat when it is big, but I'm looking for people who want to own their role, to own your shit. I want Reese to own his shit. I want him to own social media. I'm here for input, but I don't want to own it. I don't want to be in charge of it. We started doing this thing with the marketing, whatever you're paying for that. I don't know anything about it. I told Reese, I'm like, he needs help. Reese had the idea for the whole thing. And I'm like, I like it. You run it. If you run it, I'm in. If I have to run it and design it and figure out who pays what and how many, I'm out. It's exactly how it went. So whatever y'all worked out, they did that. You know what I mean? You sent me a text, I'm like, I don't know, fucking, that's them. But I'm at a point now where I trust them to a different level. Day one, I wouldn't have done that. So as I'm bringing people on, man, I take this list and I give them a couple pieces at a time. I prioritize it, my own preference, whatever I feel like I want to give up first or second. There's strategy to all of it. And you can't kind of come up with that strategy in 30 seconds. But I look at all the shit and I'm like, how do I want to play this out? What role do I see her in? One of the things Dan Martell said recently, he goes, if you're hiring people and you're telling them what to do, that's an option, but it's a poor option. The way to really build a company is to hire someone and have them so good at what they do, they tell you what to do differently in your business. That's an ideal candidate. You can bring someone in for marketing, they're like, hey, you suck at A, B, and C, we're going to fix all this. Whereas at the beginning, you tend to hire people and you have to teach them everything, right? So now you got to decide, who do I want to hire? Do I want to hire someone who knows their shit and they can teach me? Or do I want to hire someone to just take over my stuff and I now have to teach them? Obviously, you can have a hybrid of that, and mostly it was us teaching what we were doing and they would take it over. But I now give the flexibility to like, here's what I want to do. Here's what we do now. Like for instance, with Reese, I'm like, I know from a marketing person, my social sucks. Everybody else doesn't see that necessarily because we're getting views, it's working. But if someone that's what they do is social, bro, they definitely know we're fucking holding it together with like crazy glue and duct tape. I'm like, I want someone to take that. So he's done that over the last year. But at the beginning, I'm like, here's what we do. We go to Google Drive and we upload it, we rename it this, and then you put it on Mondays here and on Tuesday. Like at the beginning, it had to be that. You know, but with time, I don't want to be in charge of that every day. I don't want to know my social media schedule. I don't give two fucks as long as we put stuff out every day on every platform. And for me, this is stuff Cody's going to get into that we kind of overlap on a little bit, is what's the intention of the people we're attracting? Where do they come into our world? What kind of funnel, if you will? Like they come in here and then no different than it's like, what do you do for onboarding? Well, as people continue to follow from the marketing that you all should be building, when they come into your world, into your little bubble, where do you want them to flow? Because you can design all that stuff, you know? What messages are you giving them? What marketing are you giving them? Who touches them? Who calls them? There's plenty. We have, I don't know how many people coming in now. It's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds a month, for sure, coming in somewhere in our world. I see 20, 30, 40, 50 people a day sometimes, depending on what we promote. Sign up to something new, sign up to the newsletter, download something. Someone's coming into our world somewhere at some level, and then we built out a process for this whole thing. But at the beginning, the staff stuff is like, take some stuff over and learn how to work with that person. You got to teach that person you. That's important. If they don't know you and know your quirks, it's harder to explain why you do some of the things you do. Amanda understands me like fucking nobody else, because I've been around it. And when we have you don't think we've argued? We can come over here and talk for 6 days about the hard times. At her being an employee, me being in charge. The brutal days sometimes. The trick of overpaying her worked for a little while. And then when she was like, fuck the money, I'm like, dude, we had to have a conversation and fix what was broken, because I didn't want her to go anywhere and she didn't really want to leave, but we were having like friction, and I learned a lot from that. So as people come in, we talk about it, we share it, and here's what happened, here's what we learned, here's who I am. And so now Reese has to learn me. And he gets a little advantage because he travels with me. Angelo and Liz, who sit here in the office all day, Angelo don't know me at all. He's worked for me over a year. He doesn't know me at all. He just read my book like fucking a few weeks ago. Liz knows me a little bit better because I use her for some admin stuff. Instead of going to Amanda, now Amanda would go to Liz. And I'm like, ooh, I noticed that. How about I just send it straight to Liz? So I learned Amanda's preferences on what I give her that she gives away. And I'm like, let me just keep her from being fucking with it. I go straight to Liz with some things now. But I had to learn that. I had to learn Amanda. I, in my own company, had to learn Amanda's tendencies on how she runs shit when I need something done. And as you hire people, man, you figure this game out. Cody can talk about this forever. Hiring people and employees, they ain't a fucking easy game. I think we all sort of suck at it in a lot of ways. But you learn as you let go of control. It's the weirdest dynamic to explain, dude. As you let go of control, people will naturally take over and want to take care of you and want to, like the biggest thing that fucking Amanda, by far, she's like, I just want to make them happy. That's like her every day. She just wants to fucking make me happy and not disappoint me. Everything she does is revolved around that. I just know her personality so well. You know what I mean? So I got to be careful how I word things, because if I come off like it's disappointing, I know it's going to fuck her up a little bit. Right? But not everybody's that way. So, but it's the wildest dynamic as you start to give up control of things. People will go further and above and beyond to make sure that they do it to your liking when you show trust in someone. Day one, probably not. But especially as it builds over time and you rely on people, like, no offense, Amanda fucking curls up and goes away. Dude, I'd figure it out because it's who I am. I'd be like, fuck me, silly. We'd have to figure out where everything is and how it all works at this point. You know what I mean? So far in. So as we keep growing, I keep giving her more. If you heard about some of the stuff we talk about for future, you'd be like, you talk about that with your fucking assistant? I'm like, yeah. Fucking jets and travel, all the things that are on my vision board are in hers. And I want her twins to be able to grow up a very different lifestyle than if she worked for someone else. I got no more babies. So I had kind of myself adopt hers. I'm like, bring those little fuckers around, please. Like if they were here now, I'd call Cody up now and be like, I'm going to play with babies. For sure. So as I'm building that, for me, my vision is that we build something fucking massive together and that they run it. And they have a whole department, and they run the department, and they run the team, and they do all the hiring, and they build out the whole department. I don't want to do that shit. I want to be the vision of the company. Does that make sense? And get people paid and do that piece. All the other stuff, dude, I'm not really that fucking good at. Can I bang my head against the wall and figure some shit out? Fuck yeah, dude. I'm resilient. I'll figure it out. I will figure out how to get some stuff done. But if I have to spend energy doing that, I'm so limited over here. You know, so the lack of trust is expensive. It's fucking expensive because you're not getting as many things done. But you don't feel it because you don't have to take the money out of your pocket. Does it make sense? It just never enters. And so when I kind of started to figure that out, man, it's like you got to learn to trust on people and trust yourself enough that if you misjudge who you trust and you fuck it up, that you'll be there to fix it. Because you will. I mean, you ain't gonna let the thing fall to shit. Especially y'all, you know what I mean? Maybe not everybody. Some people, they try it, they hire some staff, it doesn't work out, and they're like, fuck, this doesn't work, and they shut everything down. They stop recruiting, they stop building, they stop running ads. That happens too. You know, but again, you do it with the right expectation that's not gonna be easy. To find the perfect person, and again, no different than I'm not perfect for Amanda. We could both come up here and give a seminar on each other's flaws. She's not amazing at some things. There's things that agents dislike about her a lot. Like a lot. Fair? Problem is, the thing they dislike a lot is one of my favorite things. People are like, she's mean. I'm like, I know, I told her to be. Sorry. Like, I can't have the thought process and the teachings I have and have a pushover as my right hand. They'll fucking take advantage of her so bad. And they try. So now not only do I have to protect her, now when I'm bringing people on, I have to let them know that I think that. Because when I bring a new agent on, it's just a fucking assistant. Who gives you, I need this shit now. Can you get it? And they treat her like she's fucking, you know what I mean? A janitor somewhere and she's supposed to clean up their shit. And I'm like, nah, I will lose my mind. You don't fuck with people in my office. I lose it. You know what I mean? To a point where I'll like, what's that saying? Cut off your nose to spite your face. Dude, you fuck with my team, I will do something I know is stupid to do to make you go away. I'll like blow the whole thing up. You know what I mean? So that's one of those things I talked about earlier is the importance of how you treat my staff. If you're anywhere in my world, that's talked about. Because if you fucking lose your shit on them, I'm out. I'm tapping. We won't do any business together. I'll fire someone in a second. You know? And so I watch those things as I'm onboarding people. It's like, how do they treat others? How do they treat people in a room like this? You see a guy like this acting great in a room and he treats an agent like shit over there. I'm like, yo, he's just asking a fucking question, bro. Don't be a dick. You know what I mean? And so the hiring, that all wraps around for me as well, which kind of goes into this kind of next section. There's 5 voices. What's the name of this book, Amanda? The 5 voices is the name of the book. Cool. Have y'all read that? Have any of y'all heard that? I always forget. What's the other one they have? The 5 something. Gears. 5 what? Gears. That's right. Those are good. So the 5 voices is like, y'all ever done like personality type stuff? Personality tests. Some people do colors. If anybody's been Nate offered stuff, he does colors. Some do that IJHG thing, whatever the fuck they are. I don't know those ones really well. Some do numbers, right? You're a 1, you're a 7, you're this, you're that. This little section here, I like to study. So if you look at these 1 through 5, I'm a pioneer, right? If you do these, and it's not because I'm pioneering anything major in the world, but the way my thought process is, right? You kind of fall into categories typically in all these tests. And there's no right or wrong, and we tend to all be a mix of all of them, but you tend to have tendencies that sway heavy towards one over the other. And we tend to be really weak in one versus the other. So like in mine, I'm the 5, the pioneer is my strongest, and 4, the connector, like building relationships, networking, and bringing people together, that's where I'm the weakest. I can do it in certain instances, but I'm not amazing at it. You know, so you start looking at this and you go like, man, do you think you can, I don't know, you take somebody who's a pioneer, which is like run through a wall to get shit done, and you try to treat them like a nurturer who likes to take care of people and baby people. Not that's a negative way, but if you treat one like the other, it doesn't get received. You know, and if you don't know who you are, so I learned, if you look at that stat at the bottom of Pioneer, all of them have a stat on it. This is good. So creative, connector, and pioneer, an overwhelming majority of the world does not relate to you at all. They don't fucking understand you. It's like you speak a foreign language. with the way you think and the way you operate and the way your mind works. And so when I learned, like, 93% of people I talk to, no matter what I say, dude, they ain't gonna hear it like I hear it. So what does that mean for me? I can bulldoze people, or I can spend time learning these fuckers and work on my craft at communicating with these types of people, right? So this is kind of the question earlier. Do I want all home run hitters, A players, all this? They can be A players too. It just might be different style of people, different ways they learn, different ways they communicate, different ways they connect with humans. And stuff like this, there is a little test. Did we give it to them? You didn't print that? You should have Liz print it. Give it to them later for them to take. Certainly you can read the book if you want to learn more about it. But I think if you aren't paying attention, I'm not going to dive into it. Cody, you're going to touch on this shit. I'm about to bring him up in a minute. Again, touch on a little. We're not going to dive super deep because you could get lost in this shit. I could spend obnoxious amounts of times on this stuff. But what I would say is understand, as you start to talk to people, try to pay attention to who they are. You know what I mean? What type of person are they? Are they a thinker? Are they a creative? Are they just like a head down? You know what I mean? Like, who are you dealing with? I've learned it's helped me tell different stories. It's helped me communicate with people in a better way, and it's helped me understand myself, because now I also understand how they view me. And I've learned that, like, nurturers think pioneers are fucking psychopaths. They literally think, like, grade A, you need help by default. So it's like they're uncomfortable around it. And same, the nurturer, I'm like, are you going to go home and wipe his ass too? Like, what do we do? Like, what are you doing? To me, it's confusing, but that's not the right way to approach it. So I'm like, shit, I got to learn how to communicate with these different styles of people. Another good book that is, I talk about this one a lot, is John Maxwell's 5 Levels of Leadership. Phenomenal book in explaining the way people view you as a leader. Right? So basic concept, someone comes in off the street, they don't give a shit what I do. Like, if the neighbor over there came over here, he doesn't give 2 shits what I have to say. He doesn't ever stop me and ask me about building a business. He doesn't ever ask to stop what I do. He doesn't want to know the psychology of a client. He doesn't give 2 fucks what I do. Right? So his view of me is different than your view of me. And me understanding that dynamic happens changes the way I converse with people. So I think it's super important to study a lot of this stuff, because it'll go a long way, especially if you get into the marketing side. You're gonna attract a lot of people who just want to make a bunch of money, but it's deeper than that. You know what I mean? And so I'm gonna have Cody come up now. And how long you been on social, bro? All right, so as we start to wrap this up, next hour or so, we're gonna do these right now every quarter. I'm gonna continue to mix them up each time. So we're gonna build out the agenda for October. We've already started working on it. What are the dates, man? Do they have it? October 16th. We're gonna do 2 days again there. Who was at the last one here? How many of y'all were here? Y'all like kind of one day, although we haven't gone through it all. Right? Last time we did kind of half a day into the night, then we did a full day the next day. I didn't want to do that because we had Cody, so I didn't want 3 days. Does that make sense? So I'm like, I'll sacrifice, we'll go to Cody's. But October, I'm like, do we do that? What we did last time, and I liked it, we started at noon, went till 5, had the VIP thing at my house, and next morning we started at like 8 or 8:30 or whatever, and went to like 2 or 3. So yeah, we're going to do the next one. What'd you say, 16th? Is that a Wednesday?
It's the 16th.
Is that Wednesday or Thursday?
Thursday.
So we'll do Wednesday, Thursday then.
If you want to.
They like 2 days. You like that way or this way? 1 day?
Travel out here. Probably 2 days.
Yeah. We'll do the same concept as we did last time. I like the flow of it better. But so yeah, we'll do the same thing. There's stuff in there. If you're interested in coming to the next one, anybody that repeats, you get money off. We tend to either raise the price or make it more expensive as time goes on. Again, as Cody said, I'm not much of a marketing person for myself, but it's there. If you want to sign up. You get money, because we definitely charge more the bigger it gets and the further it goes. And if you, of course it's going to keep going up because people keep fucking attending. And I keep giving people are like, why do you do it so cheap? I'm like, I don't fucking know. I made up a price and people pay it. You know what I mean? But I think for me, we're going to continue to increase the caliber of people that come, and we're going to continue to increase the caliber of people's results as we do this thing together. You know what I mean? Some people are going to fall off and not come back. People think not everyone came back from last time, obviously. But to do this thing right, it's hard to go at one event and get everything that's going to change your entire business forever. Right? If you're doing things right, think about how much stuff, dude, since February that you have now had to change for leading up to this event. You know what I'm saying? It's like, dude, you do this thing right, a quarter of the year is a shitload of time if you're implementing stuff. All right, so the goal for me here is for y'all to learn some stuff, prioritize the things, right? When you leave here, the worst thing you can do is just keep doing what you're doing or try to do all of it. It's another thing. Everybody tries to go like, I'm changing everything about my business. That's fucking dangerous too. So what I really suggest on this thing is to spend some time with your notes and the workbook and things we've done after this. And what I like to do is prioritize it. Take a just literally fucking scratch list of, hey, here's the 5 things or 10 things I need to implement. And then I prioritize them. I label them 1 to 10. And I choose the things I'm going to work on now versus the things I'm going to defer and work on later. Because again, you get too caught up trying to change too much, you fucking go nowhere quick. So we're going to continue to do these every quarter. And at some point when this fills up, I'll either do more than once a quarter or we might pick another location. I don't know. I'm just having fun with it. And as long as I'm having fun and people are getting paid and I'll keep fucking doing them. So again, register there. My goal is to not promote this thing a lot. So if y'all sign up, then you got fit 32 fucking people in here. I can't, like when I go, we're running out of seats. That's not a marketing thing. Like we got 32 fucking people fitting here. Unless we get rid of tables, which I don't want to do because I like this style. We used to have like 60 chairs in here, but it was everybody piled. Yeah, I didn't like how it felt. I'm like, let's do less people and have it more quality and take some shit away from it. So if you want to sign up, fill the thing out, get with the team. They handle all that. Obviously, if you have questions, let us know. But anything, I know we took a lot of questions earlier about who wanted to learn what, and I did my best to kind of touch on them as part of what we had planned. But anything that you feel like you want to know that you just are like, bro, y'all have not answered my fucking question yet. I have one. I'm still unclear. Anybody like I still need help. Completely like missed. There's everybody, we've kind of touched on the things you came for at least somewhat. Thank God thank God we didn't miss fully. Yeah, I guess we'll leave this time. I mean, again, I can certainly talk about stuff off the rip, but I want to leave this open to you guys, what you want to hear. And even if it's, hey, I heard this from this one, what do you know? Again, let this be y'all's time. So I'm gonna just let y'all rip. And what can I help with? Who wants help? Someone in the back wants, there you go.
So in pay scales, as you grew, how did you deal with still relying on like people above you in your upline that weren't making money off you because you've produced a high enough level of people below you in your downline that you're no longer making money off of? But like obviously, like there's no pay there, but you still feel like an obligation or need help from those type of people. Like how do you navigate those waters?
When you say there's no pay there, give me an example.
Like let's say you hit 145% on FFL's pay scale, and like your number 2 hit FFL's pay scale 145 as well, and they still got things that they come to you with, or vice versa.
Can you come erase this? Can you come do this, Brady? So someone catches you in comp.
Yeah. Or you catch your manager comp.
Why do you think there's zero comp there?
I guess that's my understanding.
Does that make sense? Like it doesn't make zero comp. It can reduce it. But if I take FFL specifically, there's a bonus program based on volume. I mean, dude, FFL was paying it's changed the way it works with integrity, right? As we're partners, it's certainly changed. But dude, I was getting $250,000 a month in bonus money forever from FFL with not even an override. On teams I had no spread on. They were at 145. I helped fucking 8 legs get to 145. I was making 250 G's a month. I'm fucking in for that. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I'm kind of looking at this thing long-term more in terms of structure. I want people to catch me, quote unquote, And I was certainly trying to catch my upline. I'll give it from both perspectives. So like when I started in the business, I was at a 55 on term stuff. I was at a 40 on final expense stuff. When I sold 460 grand for the year, I was at a 90 at the beginning of that year. That 460K got me up to like a 120 or 110 or whatever it was at the time. I don't remember. So quite frankly, most of y'all looking at me like I'm fucking, most of y'all walking in higher than this. I climbed 5 points at a time. So when I sold a final expense app for $1,000 and I bring home 291, I'm fucked up, dude. It was me, this dude Jeremy, this dude Drew, this guy Brent, Mike, Sean Mike. Okay? So when I sold, I was like, all right, the comp says someone got paid $1,500. $1,500 went out somewhere. I got fucking 291 of it. I'm like, this fucker has 10 points on me. He got $100. This guy has 10 points, so he got $100. That fucker made $152. This dude made $200, and God knows what they made, because I don't see their comp grid. Me? I'm like, they got my money. I'm going to get it. That's how I looked at it. When I sell, I was paying his fucking light bill, his mortgage, his car payment, right? Like you'll get, if you're direct me, you sell, you help pay my shit. That's how it works. But I was in control of this piece, right? Every company, no matter where you work, has some kind of level. So the higher up I get here, all that happens is money goes from here to me, right? It just shifts because there's only so much. So from a producer standpoint, I wanted to climb this because I wanted my money to go to me, not to them. I'm not mad that they get paid, but I can go get it. So I'm be like, you're my upline. I love you. I hope you enjoy your car, and I hope you're fucking hiring outside of me because I'm coming to get the car. I'm going to repo your car if you don't build. Does that make sense? That's my mentality towards it. And I just straight up did math, dude. I sell 460 grand. I know who made what that year on it. And for me, it was, it lit a fire for me. I wasn't mean. I didn't like not appreciate them and didn't, you know what I mean? I respect the game and cool, you can have your override. But I can also get it. Like that's part of the game. So I would go on runs as an individual producer to hit as high as I could on the level from an individual standpoint. And then when I started building, I could pay attention to go, if I hit 150 grand a month, I'm at a 120. But if I get to a 130 at 200 grand a month, 10 points, that's an extra fucking 20 grand in my account. Does that make sense? So I'm like, yo, to go from 110 to 120 or 120 to 130, that's a big jump in my income. Especially if more of it's from starting to come from team and not just personal stuff. I mean, not every company has the same where you can hit it personal, team-wise the same, so I'll kind of keep out the semantics, but the loose concept works no matter what. A lot of people want to hold people down here so they have the spread. So they don't want this guy to win because they can't make any money. But if I meet this guy and I see that you have 60 points on someone and you're in my team, I'm like, what the fuck are you taking advantage of him for? You're taking 60 fucking points on that guy? He's broke as fuck. Give him a break. You know what I mean? So I wanted to give people more because I didn't like this. Right? So I chose a balance of like, how much spread do I want? Fine. But he runs into other people in the insurance industry. He's getting recruited away from your fucking team. Does that make sense? It is what it is. Unless what? I can help him make more money. So as I'm starting to build the thing, I'm not one of the guys that's like 150 grand a month to get a 120. You issued as a team $149,743. Sorry, you're gonna have to try again next month. You didn't hit it. I ain't that guy. I'm like, bro, if the person at Mutual of Omaha didn't take their lunch break, your policy would have issued, it'd have been fine. I'm gonna give them comp. You know what I mean? And I tend to do that, especially if people are doing things. I've promoted people earlier than they should have promoted because they're gonna hit it anyway, right? The right people. I don't do this with everyone, but if he's on track to hit it and I give it to him early, or he didn't really hit it, but it's close enough, and I'm like, you fucking have it. I know managers that like, they won't count guaranteed issue stuff. They won't count annuities. They won't count certain things. And I'm like, do you? Like, fuck, dude, I don't have the energy for all that. Fucking give it to them. You know what I mean? Go ahead.
Say you're at like 145.
Yep.
Which is the max contract.
Sure.
I believe. I think the question is more like if that guy is on track to eventually hit 145.
Yeah.
Are you still financially invested in them to hit that level?
So that's where I'm gonna lead in. That's where I'm kind of leading into all that, right? So I want you to understand the concept of who I am first, and I'm chasing it. So again, for me, dude, I'm not afraid. The only reason, why would there be a fear of someone hitting a 145 with you?
If you don't have enough
He's your
people
only guy.
outside.
The fear is the loss of money. Why is it a fear? It's because it's all you got. If I'm 7 wide, 10 wide, 20 wide, dude, when I hired Amanda, we had 40 agents. No one had more than 3 agents. I essentially had 40 people direct to me. One chick had like 3 agents. They were doing like 80 grand a month. You know what I mean? We're knocking down 400 or 500 grand a month. Dude, I was printing money. Because I got 20, 30 points on everyone, and I'm starting them way above normal. I've never started anyone. I don't think we've ever, I don't want to say never, but not me on purpose, and I don't want to offend anyone who's doing something different. I've never started anyone at a fucking 70 or an 80. I didn't do that. I fucking put people at 100. It's just what I did. And some people, if they come in and they already have talent and they already have skill set and they already have team, I'll fucking let you skip stuff. You know what I mean? Because the override is temporary, typically. Right? Whether because they leave or quit or because they catch you. It's a very temporary piece of the business. It feels good, but it's really not permanent. Right? It just is what it is. So as I start seeing people climb up, I'm actually helping them catch me. I'm encouraging them to catch me because I understood what worked out for me financially when I caught the person above me. Right? So when I caught this dude, what happened? Dude, his overrides went away. He was recruiting a little bit outside of me. But I'm not going to have Reese share all that. Like, I was fucking 98% of this dude's group after a couple years. And I'm 95% of this dude's. And I was 90% of this dude's, and I was like 80% of this dude's. You know what I mean? So as it squeezed, he continued to help me. And I didn't understand it. I was in a very similar position. I was like, help me figure all this out. You know, and at its core, man, volume is what pays. Volume is the thing you're really looking for. Volume gets you in the doors. Volume gets you in with the carriers. Volume gets you in with the trips. Volume gets you in with your manager, with the senior top guy, someone like me, Sean Mike. Volume is going to get you into that room more than anything. You know, and so for me, I learned the volume is most important. And if I hold someone back, that's to me a very limited view, and you don't see the business as a whole. You don't understand the way it continues to fully work, right? Because there's more than 145 at the top. I assume you know that. FFL ain't living on a 145. There's spread there, right? And again, Sean gives away millions of fucking dollars every year to people. And so as people start to climb up, for me, there's a nice balance in structure. I think if you do it too narrow and you rely on the bonus and you put everybody up, now the risk is you don't get any overrides at all, right? Because now you're stuck. And the bonus can only be so big unless you're wide enough. You have 2 groups and you get a nice bonus and one gets too much of a percentage, and this is getting really technical for people that don't follow, so some of y'all just ignore this shit. If you don't get enough volume outside of the first leg, you'll be fucked for your whole career. If your main guy's doing fucking over half your volume, you get in a pickle if you don't fix that quick. You'll get whacked on any bonus program at any company. Because again, the reality is, if we go, I'm doing 200 grand, and this guy's doing 170, and outside all I have is 30. Right? Who built? Him or him?
Second now.
They built. You didn't do shit but hire him. The problem with the industry is this person expects to get paid on this person for the rest of the time like they fucking own them. Let's pretend we're at Home Depot. And this guy, we'll call him Bob, hires Steve. Bob's like head of some department. Pick it, fucking plumbing. Who cares? Right? He's the plumbing manager for Home Depot. And he hires Steve to fucking stock the plumbing supplies. Steve, you ever heard those stories where you like start out as the janitor and then one day you're the CEO? If this fucker Steve climbs up and he runs Home Depot, does this asshole deserve to get paid still? He's still running the plumbing department. This guy's the CEO now. What does he get? He don't get shit. He didn't do anything. He did it. All he did was hire him. Maybe he got some money when they moved more plumbing equipment early. But dude's running Home Depot. Bob ain't like, where's my override? I hired him. It's only in our space where it gets fucking weird. Right? So I think if you understand that from a management standpoint, especially if you're at FFL, bro, you work with Sean Mike, he's like, fuck Bob. To his face. Steve did all the work. Get the fuck out of the way, Bob. His personality and the way he runs his career, you better know that shit. Because if you hire a guy and he does all the work, Sean will be like, fuck you, I'm talking to him. It's who he is. He'll tell you that. He would tell you that. I'd say it with him standing right here. It's who he is. And I can respect it because the reality is he did build. Does he get something for attracting him? Yeah, in our world, you get an override for as long as you can stay ahead of him. How do you stay ahead of him? You don't rely on just Steve. You keep building wide. And if you're building wide and maybe you're making 40 points here at some point, and then it goes to 30, goes to 10, goes to 5, goes to 0, but you got 20 points here, 30 points here, 10 points here, 5 points here, and you got a bunch of volume out there, and then you get a bonus over here, you start doing them. You ever done the math on the bonus here? Take $1 million a month. Okay? Take $1 million a month and go look it up wherever you work, wherever you get paid by. Some companies where they do, like anyone doing like Medicare and all that shit and get marketing dollars from carriers, y'all get marketing dollars. Did you know marketing dollars are available from carriers? Not everybody has access to that necessarily. Here it's built into the bonus program. Marketing dollars pay FFL, FFL pays out bonuses. Some people pay directly the people. Depends on your structure. Right? But again, if you help this guy, you go, I'm getting secure locked in income over here on the bonus because this guy's running his shit without help. Like Zach Twardowski. He's in my group. He's the biggest leg. You know how much work I have to do in his group? Literally fucking zero. He's a G in the space. What the fuck do I have to help him with? Now, when he was 22 and had pimples and didn't know what he was doing, I helped him a lot. But he built a fucking machine. You know, he caught up to me years ago. But same with him when I was helping Zach, the person who brought him in, this chick Athena, I had no spread on that. I had 5 points at one point, early, when they were because I actually hired Athena at a higher comp than I was at. Some of y'all know this story. But I only had 5 points on that leg ever. You know what I mean? They're doing 100 grand a month. I make almost nothing. And I worked with Zach every day for 5+ years. But I just didn't look at it as the spread. I looked at it as he's helping me scale. He's duplicating the things I'm doing. He's helping the volume bucket. He might not be helping the override bucket a ton, but he's helping the volume bucket, which got me what? Bonus program at FFL, heavy. It's secure volume over here that someone else is recruiting and putting systems in place that I don't have to fuck with and can now spend time over here. Right? This became self-sufficient. I like self-sufficient. It's like mailbox money. Zach worked his way up. Zach, if you go like, who's higher? I mean, he's in my hierarchy, but fucking Zach's bigger than I am at FFL in sense of what he does for the company. At this stage, it just fucking is what it is. I texted him yesterday. I'm like, yo, you navigated this shit like a champ. He's just really good at it. 20-something years old now and like a fucking boss. I stay out of his way. Right? But he helped me build the override bucket. And I saw that early because I was taught it. I also learned that some people that came up, Mike, my mentor, he hired his brother-in-law and he would help him build early. And he didn't see this. And his brother-in-law was a big percentage of his group forever. And it messed Mike up long-term on the bonus because you do the calculation. Again, if your first leg is over half, you're only getting half the volume credit when you look at how the bonus is applied to you. Does that make sense? So again, you're doing 100 grand, he's doing more than half of it. You're only getting credit for half for your bonus because he's doing most of the work. So he gets credit for all of it. All right? So if you're not wide enough, and I don't care if you have a bonus program or not, if you're not wide enough, you one day will get fucked. You will one day get whacked. From someone's going to quit you, someone's going to leave, someone's going to get sick, someone's going to move out of the country, someone's going to retire, someone's going to fucking pass away. Some shit's going to happen. And if you ride one leg too long, You 100% will get fucked one day. Not on purpose, not because someone's mean. It'd just be a circumstance that you didn't plan for.
If you're an insurance agent and you feel like you're stuck, you've hit a wall, you're trying to figure out sales strategies, the scripts to use, how to get like off the ground and get to that top of the leaderboard type status, I have a course that I've put out, super affordable. I'm getting a ton of great feedback from people every day on the strategies they've learned and been able to implement, from goal setting to sales techniques to calendar scheduling, everything you would need to get your business off the ground and get running quickly. jwcourse.com, click the link below and get in there today.
So I don't know if, I know you guys focus more on like, this might be a question, everybody in the room.
Sure.
We started off as a GA, now we're officially a GA.
Yeah.
We want to get as close as possible to our MMO.
Yep.
The only way to do that is, of course, volume.
Yeah,
More
100%.
agents. The process of getting them released from our current, do you understand that?
Yeah. Releases?
That and then being
Moving
able to move
teams.
up,
Yeah.
that's the most difficult, stressful part that we're at right now.
Because they're already contracted in somewhere in that structure.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, they get
Yeah.
contracted through us as a GA.
Yeah.
I mean, as an independent agent.
Mhm.
And then as we grow, it's like removing, like what you guys are doing with the uplines, it's removing the FMO, then the other FMO, and just getting closer to the NMO.
Yeah. So you want to climb up that?
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah. I mean, first of all, did that help? Do you need more clarification on that piece? Because I could talk about this topic forever. What
I find a little bit more material on like how the bonuses break out.
FFL's page. Yeah. Everything's open book. It's structure. You need to learn calculus to do it if you get too big, right? So don't overthink it. Does that make sense? The biggest thing I want you to understand is you have to go wide before you can go deep. And the deeper you start getting, the wider you better go. I promise you. If you learn nothing else, wide is where you make it. That's wide is like, I was taught like depth is like, what's the word he used to use? It's kind of security, right? That's not the word, but it's the same concept. It's really secure, consistent business going this way, but this way is profitable as fuck. That's where all the money's made. You know what I mean? If you get a guy and you ride that horse, you're gonna fall off. You know, so the way the insurance, because that's the whole MLM thing. People are like, MLM. I'm like, yeah, right. Let someone fucking outsell me. They'll pass me. You know what I mean? Which is the business world. That can happen in the business world anywhere. So yeah, don't overthink it too much. Wide. And nobody should be in risk of having unless you literally don't fucking recruit. You can't, it's hard to fall into getting stuck and not having the right structure, getting stuck in one leg, unless you just literally hire a guy and quit hiring. Wide is where it's at. What I would say for you, I'll just tell you how I do, right? Because, think about this. I've been with FFL, man, since the day they opened the doors. I remember having to sell who we were as a company every fucking phone call. Who? Everyone used to go, First Family? I never heard of First Family. I'm like, motherfucker, it's Family First. We'd get annoyed, right? Because we're trying to break into this space that was already established by some people. And so we were having to sell a lot and pitch a lot. As it's grown, this thing gets crazy to where, like, although it's a little different structure, the concept's the same in the sense that, dude, you know how many people see what I got going on and they don't really know they're part of FFL? They don't really understand the structure, the agency. Yeah, it's the same. Nobody can wrap their fucking head around this whole thing. And especially when I go from an integrity point, we have 300 partners. So if I'm recruiting from almost any company on the planet, I'm recruiting someone from a partner, right? So I've learned from me the best, I won't say it's a rule 100% of the time, but it's really fucking high. Like really, really high. It's close to 100% as you can get. I had a rule for me that we still have to tell people no to this day, that I will give anyone a release that wants one. Anyone that wants a release to come to me, I say yes if you want to leave me. I say no if you want to come to me. So if you're internal to my world and you want to release to me, I say no. You're gonna have to fight with me. It's so rare that I say yes. I just don't want to fuck with it.
Like you don't give releases.
Huh?
Like you don't or you do give releases?
Give reasons?
Releases.
No, I will let someone leave me. But I won't let someone leave you if you work in our umbrella anywhere, and you're like, I hate fucking Zach Twardowski, and I want to work with you. I'm like, nah, dude, he's one of the best in the fucking industry. Like, what the fuck you think you're gonna get from me? And I don't care who the person is. Now, if they're a dipshit, what I do know is the upline. If you go up enough, you're gonna hit someone that's a G, right? There's only FFL is only 5 wide, maybe. All of FFL is under 5 groups. It ain't that wide of a hierarchy. It's deep as shit at this stage, you know? So for me, it was just easier because then if I get a release, then what do I got to deal with? Think of all the things. And we do them some, you know what I mean? But it's rare. I don't want noise. I don't want drama. I don't want headaches. I don't want you bitching.
This is like for us, like in the health insurance world and Medicare, it's a little bit different.
Yeah.
We don't get, as far as the residuals, we get points, like, so 3 points off of each ACA.
Yep.
So in order for us to grow,
Yeah.
4 points, 5 points, 6 points,
Yep.
we have to get closer
Yeah. Yeah. But you have to get releases from them internal.
it would be from the person, from the
Yeah.
G that we're working.
Yeah. So I do 2 things. Like, again, and I don't know the full political side of the dynamic, but that's important. The political bullshit that some people are like, huh? Bro, there's politics and all this shit. So you guys got to understand that dynamic first. So where it creates a rub in anything relationship-wise, politics-wise, I don't fuck with. If it doesn't create a rub, one of the things that's worked the best for me, because when someone wants a release, right? If I come to you and I'm like, hey, I work with dipshit, I want to work with you, right? What do you tell me to do? Or what do you have to do? So I like that. You make them do it. Most people don't do that. Most times the agent wants us to do it for them. Right? Have you had that though? They're like, will you call them? Will you email them? Will you do it? So I won't do that. So if I'm going to get involved with it, yeah, and it sucks. Yeah. So in the rare cases that I accept one, I'm like, hey, especially if I know the person that it hits, if I know where the upline goes, I make the call. And I'm like, hey, dude, Giovanni reached out. He's fucking wanting to switch teams. Some dipshit. I think he needs some help, bro. Can you reach out to him and call him and take care of it? And I will call the guy I know to help fix it. Not to release it, to fix it. Right? Because again, the sea is big. Right? And I just don't want them to know. And I've also learned most people that switch, don't do shit. The overwhelming majority that switch don't do shit. Right? So my odds go down dramatically, you know, but if I'm going to do it, I'm like, I explain all this to the person. I'm like, dude, this is a real fucking pain in the ass. You work with him. He's good. They know how to sell. Are you doing the training? And I grill them. If they're following the plan, following the process, learning the trainings, like, where are we going wrong? Because unless you're just like this, dude, everyone has access to really good information, you know? And if it's there's just things. Sometimes it makes sense. I'm like, oh, that kind of fucking makes sense why it ain't working out. I got it. Here's the thing though. Dude, I don't want no noise. So you're going to have to do the work. If you're going to make this happen, I need you to reach out to the guy and I need you to explain why you want to leave him. Now I need you to make sure that you ain't dropping my fucking name. This ain't my idea because I don't want to do it. But if you're going to quit the fucking industry, I want to help you out, but you have to go have the conversation. You have to explain why. You have to seek the releases. And if they work it out and they're not mad, we can have the conversation. If they lose the shit and I got to deal with any phone calls, I'm out. So you better learn how to deliver it in a way where he ain't pissed. Because I'm not having a pissed conversation with a guy. You know what I mean? And I just put it on them and I preface it with that they better do it nice. Meaning I don't want them to send some fucking email. John said I should send you that. Nah, dude, don't use me as the out. Does that make sense?
It's a little bit more complicated on the health side.
It is.
From our experience, the agency that we first started working with, they grew, when we first started, we were 5 people. They grew up to have over 400 health insurance agents.
Yep.
Somehow, they broke their contract and moved all 400 people to another FMO,
Well,
offering them more points.
do you know how or why?
I don't know. No, I know why.
Do you know how?
More points. How, I don't know.
Yeah, because this is like when you really learn how this thing works, you know there's one person that can hit a fucking button and make it happen with nobody's signature. They just know somebody. That's it. Straight up. They know the guy. Do I know a guy? Yep. Am I pulling that card? Never. I ain't making that fucking phone call. I just ain't making that phone call for people. And I've just learned, here's what I learned too, is you see people switch like that and then they go, oh, I got a team of 400 people. It's not really duplicatable. You know what I mean? And and again, in some situations it works really good. But I've seen people grow mostly due to hierarchy changes, and I've also watched that play out over multiple years, and it's rare that it plays out amazing. You know what I mean? It's just, because they go like, if they leave them, the lead, you know what I mean? There tends to be more to it. Again, we can talk offline if you want to get to the piece, because there's pieces I don't know. I don't know the health piece behind the scenes. Life side, I know inside out. You know, obviously health, I know enough to be dangerous, but it sounds like there's piece like you're literally telling me, hey, dipshit, you don't know some stuff. I have questions, but I don't want to, it's too much with everyone. You know, so it's like you got to kind of create your own rules and guidelines of about what you want to do for releases. And I've just, you know, I made a pretty active decision that I'm like, I'll let anybody go, but I won't take many to me. Especially as I go, hey, we're going to rebuild this fucking base shop. You know how many people from inside of FFL have reached out to me to switch? And I'm like, dude, I'm not fucking with it. You know, so whatever the things are, you also have to decide what do you want to deal with and what do you don't. And I want you to look at it from a perspective of what's the fallout, and do you want to deal with that? And if there's none, great. I talked to this shit about Giovanni, just straight up. We were having a conversation about an agent. I had this whole conversation with him. Remember what your answer was back to me? About whether or not you should get the guy to switch or not switch? He said, I don't give a fuck. I'm going to recruit him anyway. I was like, okay, do you, bro? I'm not going to stop him. I'm just going to explain the differences. He wants to deal with it. Knock yourself out. But what did I tell you? I ain't dealing with none of it. Me and Amanda we're out. If you can get it done, get it done. I'm not making phone calls. I'm not doing that piece. You know, so no matter what the journey is for you guys, define that and be willing to stick to it. You know, but let's talk offline a little bit more so I can get some more details. So structure is fucking important. Big. And again, it is good to get a nice big one, especially in y'all's model, the way it works, a little bit different with you kind of lock in some spread in a sense. So a little bit different there. Anything else y'all want to cover? Specifics? And it can be completely different topic. I don't give a shit if you want to know something about the phone. We can definitely just anything you want help on at all in your space specific.
John, what's the best way to transition a culture that's big on producing into building and selling that?
Man, it's like we learn to. Sean Mike has taught me a lot. Probably two of the most valuable lessons I've learned is to normalize things and to minimize stuff. So all the things people see as a problem are no big deal. I can make anything no big deal. If you can get really good at making what people look at as a fire as no fucking big deal, that's a skill set that you can take anywhere with any situation, right? And normalizing things means just like when someone doesn't know it's any different, they don't know any better. You know, trying to think of an example. Someone called me about. Oh, let me see if I can think this. I had an example. Who the fuck was it? Who was I talking to? They came in. Who was I talking to that came in dialing, booking 30 appointments right off the rip? They didn't know any better. Who was I fucking talking to? It was someone new, and he was booking. It was a dial day guy that did Monday, Thursday dial days, and from day one, he would book 15 appointments on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, from the very beginning. And we started talking about it, and I'm like, "What made you do that right off the rip?" And he's like, "That's just what everyone did. I didn't know it was any different." It took him 2 months into the industry to realize most people only book fucking 2 or 3 or 4. But he came in where everyone in that room was making 400, 500, 600, 700 phone calls a day. Everybody was getting fucking a couple $100 a day in lead spend, and everybody was booking fucking 30, 40, 50 appointments a week. That's just what happened in that room. So if you came in and you made 3 phone calls and only booked 6, you were the weird one, right? So in our space, for us, I can remember early as shit, bro. When I first started, dude, I wrote $5,000. The first company I worked with, I wrote $5,000 for the first time in a week, and they threw me a fucking parade. It was like I won the World Series and they had the whole fucking city there. I'm like, all I wrote was $5,000 for the week. And I remember clear as fucking day, Sean going, we're going to 10 grand a week. 10 grand a week is going to be the new normal. Watch. And he started talking about it every day. 10 grand a week, 10 grand a week, 10 grand a week, 10 grand a week, 10 grand. He just made it normal. 10 grand a week was not fucking normal. In fact, 10 grand a week is not normal in our space outside of kind of us. In the life space anyway. It's not the norm to do. And so early on, as part of our training, it was 10 grand a week personal, and you recruit people to sell 10 grand a week. And if you don't do that, just stay the fuck out of the way. Because this train is moving. He had vision of this $1 billion company and everything we have today that like 13 years ago, when Sean had no fucking money. You know, so it was normalizing that you sell a bunch and you build right away. He just made that normal. You were the fucking weirdo if you didn't, right? And so in any situation, you can just normalize things. You can do it with your kids, you can do it with family settings, you do it in an office environment. You know what I mean? If it's normal that people are allowed to fucking come in late, come and go when they want, that's normal. If it's like you have a strict thing, that's normal. I can sell either one. And I always say, like, think about the crazy shit that happens in the world. Different cultures, different religions, different thought process, and just the way they believe things are normal. So, does that make sense? Can you think of something out there in the world that they're like, that's just their norm, and we're like, that's fucked up? It's some twisted shit that people do. That's just fucking the norm. Right? Like, it's just normal as shit. And I don't want to give any references because I don't want to get people riled up. I'm sure you're all smart enough to think of some. You're like, they do what over there in that country? Or that, whatever it is. But to them, dude, that's all they know. It's just fucking normal to them. It's just not normal to you, which is why there's a difference in belief. But think about the shit people buy into that happens in this world that is just okay and normal. You know what I'm saying? This is some extreme stuff that happens out there that just people are okay with. So to get people to realize, sell 10 grand a week and build simultaneously, that's a really easy one to get people to go like, oh, it's no big deal. You know? So it's talking about, one, it's understanding that concept. How do you make that happen? One, you do it. Because if you talk about it and you don't do it, no one's gonna fucking listen to you. You know what I mean? Like, you keep saying that shit, you don't sell and you don't build at all. That's why a lot of people get stuck. They want the override, they don't want to do the work, they don't want to do both, and you're trying to get people to do all the shit so you don't have to do the shit. And then they're like, well, you don't do the shit, I want to copy you. Right? So you doing it is the most important factor. And then continuing to talk about it. You know? And when someone does, I don't know, when someone says they want to make 200 grand, you say, you mean a month? What did that do? It made it normal that in my world, fucking people make 200 grand a month, which is actually accurate. But I'm making that normal for him coming in. He's coming into my world. Make 20 grand a month? Yo, you know what my world says about 20 grand a month? What do they say? 20 grand a month. Nothing. You're broke as fuck. 100%. We've made that normal. Thinking you only want to make 10, I ain't mad at you. Cool. But you ain't going to wow me with all the shit you can buy. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to be able to support your family like, holy crap, look at all the stuff he does for his family and his church and his community and his mom and when he got sick. Like, there's only so much you can do, right? So we wanted to make normal being able to live different than most people. We wanted time and money. We wanted to build empires. We wanted to build companies. We wanted to develop other people. We wanted other leaders around us. There's so much food to eat in this space. There's so much money available. You don't have to have a limited mindset at all. That's why me and Cody do stuff. We have a lot of differences. And some people get frustrated that we do stuff together on both sides. Dude, his dad's a fucking competitor of mine. You know what I mean? I see him like, hey, what's up, dude? How are you? We just talk. I just don't believe there's not enough for both of us. But not everybody believes that. You know what I mean? And so in the build, how do you get people to build? I just talk about it. It's so normal. I can get a new agent to recruit right away. He hasn't even sold an app. And he fucking was recruiting his brother. He quit a career to do this, and he got his brother who makes, do you mind if I share? His brother's making fucking 400 grand a year and quitting that shit to come do this. I'm like, oh, 400 a month, right? He's like, nah, a year. Respectable. But are you tired? And we started talking about the things. 400 grand a year is good until you're in a corporate job that you have fucking golden handcuffs on and you're tied to a desk and you have no freedom and you can't be out doing the thing he does, the thing he likes doing, he can't do anymore. You know what I mean? It's like, so for us, dude, all the things we want to play out, we just make normal. Telesales, make it normal. Buying a bunch of leads, just make it normal. Showing up to events, make it normal. Show up to the office every day, make it normal. How? You do it and you fucking talk about it a lot. And then earlier when you have that framework, you either don't bring that person in or you let them know they're the odd one. And when you have numbers to back it up, man, it becomes contagious. Nobody looks at us now and is like, I just want to come and sort of dick around and sell a policy or two. No one's confused on what the reaction is going to be like when you come into our world anymore. Where early on, we had to convince everyone why we could help them. And everyone was like, y'all ain't going to sell that much. There ain't no fucking way y'all going to sell that much insurance. I didn't even believe, I wasn't selling it, so I certainly wasn't, I'm like, what the fuck? That sounds dope. Wonder how they're going to pull that shit off. And I got to watch him do it. You know? And he just got, y'all ever seen that? I talked about this at dinner last night. Y'all ever seen, if you haven't, Google it. You can literally Google, like I Google dancing idiot on a hill. Have you ever seen, anybody know what video I'm talking about? I wish, have you seen it? This is that moment, Amanda, where I wish I had the TV. Just so you know. I'll give you a visual. So it's an old ass video. You can literally Google it right now. It'll be probably the first video that pops up on YouTube. It's 1 million years old and it has a shitload of views. And this guy goes out, he's at like some festival, right? And I think it's a music festival of some kind. They're sitting out in grass. They look like a bunch of hippies running around with no socks on. And this one dude gets up in the middle and there's people kind of laid out, just kind of watching a show. It looks like they're kind of watching in the distance and they're on a hill, just in the grass, just enjoying whatever the fuck they're all doing. And this one dude gets out there and he starts dancing in the grass, like fucking jamming out like a complete fool, spinning in circles, just completely acting like a complete idiot. And he has to do that by himself. I don't know how long it is, but it felt like fucking 9 minutes watching it because he was the only one dancing. Everyone else is sitting on the grass chilling. However long it is, and it wasn't 9 minutes. I'm certainly exaggerating, especially on the video. It's maybe a several minute video tops. But after a decent amount of time, one other person came up and started dancing with him. Just a random person. And they fucking both jamming out like this. And the distance between when he started and the first person started was, let's say it was 3 minutes. The distance from the second person to the third person was like 30 seconds. Number 3 ran up right behind him. They saw 2 do it and they were like, fuck, I'm in. And the video explains this shit in depth, like the psychology of it. It's really cool if you find it. So the third dude went up in like 30 seconds. The fourth guy went up in like 10 seconds. Fifth guy was there in like 3 seconds. By the time the 6th went, the whole fucking crowd came. And he made it normal to dance like a fucking idiot on a hill at an event. He just made it normal. And then the people that weren't dancing, they felt like fools because they were the only idiots not dancing. Does that make sense? And as we built this company up, that's all we did. It's the same concept. Is we're all over here screaming fucking 10 grand a week, build, we'd buy 1,000 leads a day, fuck them, hang up on them, keep moving. Like we had to make that normal. When we used to say this shit 10 years ago, bro, people would leave. They'd be like, fuck that, there ain't no way that works. We've been doing this for 200 years. Sean was like, fuck you, watch. And he just kept dancing on the hill like a moron. You know what I mean? But he believed it and he was doing it. And I'm like, dude, he was right in that kind of volume. You know? And he just made us all buy in. He was recruiting, he was building, and it's like, all right, you want to win at that level, that's what you do. You know? And so it's just normalizing it, dude. You know? And then the journey along the way, when it's hard, it's like, yeah, I know he wrote 100 grand. No big deal. You'll be all right. How do I do it? Someone's scared about roll up 100 grand, right? Would that scare you? $100,000 roll up, debt from another agent that you now have to pay. Scary as shit, right? I go, what if I told you, Zach, $100,000 roll up's gonna come next month. But dude, over the course of next year, next 5 years, you'll make, I don't know, 12 million bucks. Will you take the 100 grand now? Roll up? Yeah. But if you don't know for sure about the 12 million, do you still have the nuts to take it or be willing to take it? You take it voluntarily right now, right? And so we went at this thing in a way, it's like, it's no big deal, dude. I've had 150 grand rolled to me from one person. 2, 3, 4, 5 grand, 10 grand, 6 grand. Dude, fucking, you know how that happens like I eat fucking Skittles. Now, do I do things to try to prevent it? Yeah, but it's cost of doing business. You know, and like I just said, pick any other business that has stuff. Fucking Walmart tractor trailers flip over or crash every day. People steal shit from it. You know what I mean? They light shit on fire. They crash, like shit happens. What's Walmart do? No big deal. Go hire a guy, fix the windows, fucking open the next day. Just keep it moving. You know what I mean? So, good. You had one, dude?
This is just more out of curiosity than anything. Is that pretty much normal back 2012, 55 commission?
That's normal now, dude, in a lot of companies.
Captain. Independent?
Yes. Fuck yeah, dude.
I started at 25.
25? You start at 25.
For like this company.
You did? Yeah, 25%.
Bro, Oaks like $50
Who knows a company that you could, we're not going to do it, but you could name off the top of your head that starts people under 50%? You can name 3?
Agencies or companies, actual carriers?
The company that's paying the agent to start. Whether it's a direct contract from a carrier, that exists. Cody used to work for one. Captive people do it, but 1099 in our space, they fucking do this. Yeah, 100%. Oh yeah, 55. I was definitely buying my own leads. It was not free leads.
How'd you make any, did you make any money?
You didn't. You got to a 60, so you can make 5 points on the 10 grand you rolled. That's an extra fucking $500 a month. You know what I mean? It's like, I wouldn't say I didn't make any money, because I've always been profitable at the beginning. And I started part-time, dude. I was making 3 or 4 grand a month, and I just saved all that money. You know what I mean? Again, but I was also doing it part-time. So even at a 55, dude, I can make enough to pay. I mean, I couldn't make enough to pay my bills today as an individual producer necessarily, but the average person's bills a month is what? Average person coming in. I can map out 3 grand out of 55 in fucking 2 seconds. $700 a week. You sell 3 apps, you make that. You know what I mean? You don't have to light the world on fire still. Again, can you net 20 grand right off the rip? This is gonna be hard as fuck. You know what I mean? But some people like that model because they like people to have to climb. All good. No different than if you work at it's like, I don't know, you work at a corporate. What's your pay raise every year? Fucking 2%, 3%. You know what I mean? Same, it's normal in the whole world that there's limitations typically. You know, so I don't know, man. I think part of it is learning. Also, you kind of learn your craft. You see like you run into other policies. Do you find out who wrote that policy? Do you find out what company that person works at? Do you then call that agent? Do you have the nuts to take a policy, look in the back, see who the agent is, and call them? Who's done that? Only you and his group. Basically 2 people in the room. Amanda closed on a new loan the other day, and she sent me a screenshot of one of the direct mail leads. I was like, save them all. We'll fill them out using Giovanni's name, and they'll all call Giovanni because he'll recruit them all. So when I get if I get direct mail, anybody ever had been mailed a lead? Have you ever received one? Fill them out. They'll call you. Hire them. That's what we did. Anybody you know buying a house, tell them to give you all the forms. You'll find out who's who real quick. You know what I mean? So as I start doing things like that, I also would learn the companies. I'd learn the products. Whether it's an ARP policy or a Globe Life policy, or it's Joe Blow IMO that sells the same shit I sell. You know what I mean? I can see their tendencies. I can learn State Farm's IUL. I used to bury that thing because I learned how they sold it. Why? I saw some clients, I pick up the phone, call the fucking agent, and I'm like, yo, curious about, I heard you sell IULs. How's this work? Hey man, I'm looking around at opportunities. Can you tell me about your company? What's your comp? How do you get there? How much do you sell? Damn, what? They only start you at 55, bro? Where the fuck you work? What do you mean? What are you at? Dude, I'd hang myself if I was at a 55. What do you sell? I mean, I did like 82 grand last year. Last year? Dude, you getting training, bro? What are they doing? And I would just have conversations with random ass fucking agents. I didn't give a shit. I just want to talk to people. So the industry hasn't really changed. If anything, this is not normal. That's where Sean took it and he went, watch this. And quite frankly, his goal was to fuck with the people who hired, didn't continue to recruit, and continue to get paid forever. And if you know his story, it's the background was he worked at UPS and he was in warehouses moving boxes and shit. And it was very like, I don't know the right word to use. What's the thing when you like, if you've worked there long enough, you get increases just because of the amount of time, seniority? Yep. So most corporates are very seniority based. Time gets you more benefits than production. So he was killing it on production, but dipshits were getting promoted because seniority. So when he started to create this, he saw that in our space too. That seniority, where all the people at the front, all the people in the nice chairs, all the people on stages, it was all seniority based. It wasn't structure based. It wasn't how many people were getting paid based necessarily. It was if you were a guy and you recruited a guy, that top guy, he was there first, he gets the most praise. And it fucking drove him mental. And so he changed the whole model because he didn't like that piece of it on the job and in the space. So he went counter, and then told people to their face he was doing it. It was fucking dope to watch. I hope one day they make a fucking documentary on this journey that I got to see him watch and be a part of. So there's all kinds of structures out there that work, dude, still to this day, and people will go to them. People get hired at fucking 20s, 30s, 40s every fucking day in our space. It's just finding them, man. Teach them opportunities. You know what I mean? But you'll find some places provide more value than just comp, and they won't fucking leave sometimes. They'll be like, nah, dude, he fucking comes to my house and we barbecue every weekend. He's my ride or die. I'm like, you make $80 fucking a sale, bro. You're paying for his house. They're like, yeah, but he supports me. Okay. Cool, more power to you. So structure is important, but understanding other people's structure is super important too. Again, we'd use it in a sales situation a lot. You start to understand companies and how you can benefit. Why not do that on the building side too and really understand them? And I don't have them all today, but pick a competitor. I had their comp plan. I had how they get raises there. I knew the fucking structure of all these companies. You know what I mean? Call them up, interview them. Like, hey, I'm looking for a place to work. Go on LinkedIn, Indeed, ZipRecruiter, Career Builder, Facebook, whatever. Look at all the ads. Hiring for this. ACA, Medicare, Life. You can find 5 million ads today. Apply to all of them. They will call you. Hey, just calling you about. Most of them are going to be fucking retards. Because they're just, it is what it is. In terms of like what they've built. They might be good people in terms of wanting to do something. They're trying, but they just don't know any better. You know what I mean? You start having conversations. Like, hey man, I just have questions, man. Looking at your company. Can you tell me some stuff? The same as I told y'all earlier when people call me to ask information. I'm like, hey, good question. You mind if I ask you some questions first? You start calling other people and be like, I have questions. They will answer your questions. 99% of them, you will control the whole interview, even though you're applying. You can have, now, in today's world, you might come across some of your buddies or your friends' ads, or you know what I mean? So like, tread lightly. Make sure you're doing it appropriately. Don't be a dick. You know what I mean? Like, do it the right way. But it's an easy way to get in front of people and at the very least, learn their stuff. Hey, just shake curiosity, calling to learn a little bit more about how you all do business. That ain't lying, and they'll tell you everything. So I just studied that stuff and understood it, especially early. When we were nothing and I had to use whatever competitive advantage I could. It got to a point where it was like, we are who we are. It's like, I remember changing it and being like, we're like the Yankees or Alabama. People either love us or hate us, but we fucking win. That became my recruiting at some point. You know what I mean? I'm like, dude, look at the scoreboard, bro. What do you mean, what do I offer? You're calling me because you see it. You know what I mean? And you can get to a point where that can change even in your agency as well. So, what else I got? Any questions at all? Nothing? Anybody excited with the information? You have stuff to go implement, most importantly. I always want to make sure people walk away with something like tangible to put in place. So I spend a lot of time trying to do this stuff. Obviously, some people are on the coaching thing. If you have any interest in any of that shit that we got going on and you're not involved, there's info in there and about all of it, about all of us. Any of the systems we use, any of the programs, anything I got going on, you have access to. If you want more information, either ask me or the team. Again, if you want to come to the next event, we'd love to have you there. We're going to do, those of us that are staying again. You good now, Reese? Amanda, anything else you want me to touch on that I completely forgot about or I sucked at? Amanda, I didn't miss anything? You don't have a list for me this time? Did I really get it all? I'm fucking proud of myself. Yeah, those of y'all coming to the house, same thing. I'm assuming Amanda probably sent y'all or will send you the address. She'll figure it out. It's about like 10 minutes away for those that haven't been. We'll start at the house about 6. So we'll hang out here for a little bit. I think she's going to bounce a minute early to help the wife get some stuff started. But I got a long ass fucking driveway. I'm in the woods. I promise the GPS will get you there. It's usually, 25 or 50 feet further than it says, but mailbox easy to find. You pull in the driveway, park by the garage, you'll know you're at the right place. So look forward to hanging out with those of you that are coming tonight. Those of you that are done, that's all I have. If you have questions, I'll hang out for a little while for sure. Would love if you connect with Reese if you want to contribute to anything in terms of what you learned, the value you had. Otherwise, appreciate y'all coming out and keep me posted on how I can help and make some shit happen. Appreciate y'all's time. It's been a quick day.
Hi guys, hope you enjoyed the video. If you did not attend the previous one, I have them every quarter now. If you want to make it to that one, you can use the coupon code YouTube for 15% off. JohnWetmore.com/workshop. You can always register for the next one. See you guys later.